Hello. Welcome to my channel. I am Shar. Thank you for coming back. Please, you guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Please comment. I would love to know what you guys think as it relates to the topics that I speak about. And I am coming back today with drama, semi-drama. I want to talk about the Amber Geiger case really quick. I'm not going to go real long and lengthy because it's over. She's been convicted for 10 years. I am drinking a McDonald's Coke. Everybody knows that McDonald's Coca-Cola is the best. Like, they have the best carbonated pop ever. Well, not all their pop. I don't drink all their pop. I just drink the Coke, okay? This is amazing. It's bad for you though. It's full of sugar. I feel like heavy in my stomach all day after drinking this. I do it every so often, okay? Sue me, sorry. Whatever. Anyway. McDonald's carbonated Coca-Cola and Chipotle's Breyer's root beer. Oh my god, it's so good. Anyway, those are my favorite drinks at the fast food places, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I want to talk about Amber Geiger. Amber Geiger is a hot mess, okay? I believe she, I don't know if she just hates black people or if she was just like, that night, I don't know. She just went up in there and was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna kill him. Anyway, see if I can get away with it. I don't know, it was a freaky thing. Like, she is a trip. I don't know anything about her. She was a nobody. She was just a little underpaid cop. Whatever. Who cares? Right? So, don't nobody know anything about her. I don't know. They say that she's had racist comments on her Instagram. Or not her Instagram, her Twitter or whatever. I don't know. I just don't know. I can't say yay or nay because I don't know anything about the woman. Right? I just know that she was on some bullshit when she went into that man's house. That's all I know. Yeah, they have said that she has made some racist comments or whatever, and I just don't know because I don't know anything about her. And I watched a little bit of the trial, like they have it all on the internet now, and she was on some bullshit. I know that I'm just speaking on different pieces or whatever. It's not in any type of order, but I know that she had, or it was mentioned during the testimonies, that she, after the fact, not too long after the fact, after he was murdered and put to rest and all these things, she was like waiting, I guess, for trial, waiting to be charged, whatever the case may be. She had been talking to the fellow officer that was married, that she was dating or having sex with, whatever the case may be. Had like texted him and was like, you know, what's up? Like, let's hang out, let's get drunk, let's get fucked up, let's have sex, let's do our normal thing. And this was like not too long after this shit happened. So that speaks volumes in terms of her character. Like, you just murdered somebody, be it by mistake or not. How you just want to just go and get drunk and have sex? Really? Like, I mean, if it was a mistake, that's even more reason for you to just be somewhere like, oh my God, I've just killed somebody. Help me. You know. But no, she wanted to kind of get white girl wasted and get fucked. Excuse my language. It was really, really ugly for me to say that, but that's how people are looking at it. Like, you calling the guy up like, let's go do it, take a few drinks. That's crazy. Anyway, so if nothing else, even if she's not a racist, she's a fucked up person. Like, you just kill somebody on a humble and now you just want to get fucked and go drink? Girl, bye. Anyway, okay, so Joshua Brown, it was an amazing testimony. They feel like his testimony is what did it for the state of Texas to get this girl put away. His testimony was compelling and he was real, he was raw, he cried, he was emotional. That's what did it. That's what did it, baby. He spoke from the heart, and he remembered meeting this guy. He talked briefly about their conversation, their encounter. He said he was a nice guy. He didn't know him that well, but what he knew of him, he seemed normal, nice, cool. And he also stated that he had been hearing Botham John, or John Botham, whatever his name is, may he rest in peace. And forgive me if I'm not saying his name totally correct. I think it's Botham John. I think it's Gene, but because they were Caribbean people, I think, or Jamaican or whatever they were, or are, they pronounce it Jean. But Botham Jean, Mr. Jean, used to sing a lot, and he remembered hearing Mr. Jean sing all the time. And I'm thinking on the stand, when he began to remember Mr. Jean singing, it made him emotional, and he dropped a few tears, okay? And that's what they needed. That helped them out. That probably got them the 10 years, because, you know, I don't know, who knows? She might have got off on a deadlock or something, or whatever they call that, when everyone, the jurors, they can't come into an agreement. Who knows? Anyway, she's been convicted. She's already gone bye-bye. But now, Joshua Brown has been murdered. May he, too, rest in peace, okay? This guy was a college grad. He was a manager of Airbnbs, and virtually, like he did it virtually. He lived in Texas, but these the Airbnbs that he managed were out of state. He mentioned on the stand that he was working on getting a fourth one that was somewhere in Texas, I guess, that he was going to manage. So he would have had a total of 4 that he was managing. And I don't know. I didn't know he had a child. It seems like he has a child too, or whatever. Because like I said, now that he's passed, you know, people are talking about him in the media. And apparently he had a kid too. Maybe he has more than one. I'm not sure. But yeah, now they're saying he was a street pharmacist, or he sold weed. I don't know. I don't know that much about him. I haven't done research, because it's neither here nor there, in my opinion, because no matter what he is or was, or what he did for a living, be it legal or not, it kind of really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't change that he didn't hear the woman say, "Freeze, get your hands up." You know what I mean? And she stated that she says that all the time, emphatically, because she follows the law to the letter. And he didn't hear it. Okay? He didn't hear it yet. He used to always hear Mr. Jean singing whenever he would sing. I don't know if that would be in the morning or afternoons. He really didn't specify. But he would hear Mr. Jean singing, but yet he didn't hear her say, "Freeze, get your hands up," which is what she says, that she says loudly with a lot of authority, and she says it all the time because she follows the law to the letter. So, okay, go figure. So yeah, everybody feels that his testimony is what did it. She's gone bye-bye. She's doing 10 years. We think, because now that he's been murdered, all this stuff is coming out. He was sold weed or whatever. 2 guys came all the way from New Orleans. Don't ask me why they couldn't buy weed in New Orleans. I'm quite sure that they got good weed somewhere in New Orleans, okay? That's just my theory. Whatever. But they traveled all the way to Texas. I'm not sure how far that is. Apparently it's not too far, but it's probably like, what, 6 to 8 hours, give or take? Whatever. It's still too far to be traveling for weed, because I'm sure they got good weed somewhere in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, whatever. They could have got it there. These fools did not drive all the way to Texas for weed. Anyway, they've already started tarnishing this guy's name and his legacy, his memory, you know, just making him out to be a little bit short of El Chapo, basically. So, you know, they've already put her appeal in, her motion for an appeal, and they're going to discredit him, saying he was this, he was that, he was a drug dealer, he was part of gangs, he ran with murderers, he toted guns. You know the story, yada yada yada. Anyway, girl, bye. You was on some bullshit. You was in the wrong apartment. You knew you was in the wrong apartment, but for some reason you got in there and got, I don't know if she got crunked or she was just like, you know what, fuck this. I got a gun. This nigga ain't got shit. He on the couch eating ice cream. I'ma get him. I don't know. Because she knew damn well she wasn't in her apartment unless she's stupid. How you don't know you not in your own apartment? Really? Okay, let's say you new to the building, you got the floors mixed up. Because sometimes you can be on an elevator and be like, oh, I'm not getting off on the 4th floor, I'm getting off on the 5th. I should got off on the 4th, or vice versa. You know what I mean? But, okay, and then all the hallways look the same. You can't really go by anything because they all look the same, straight hallways. But I know when I'm walking down an apartment, or even when I'm in a hotel, apartment hallway or hotel hallway, I look at the numbers. Because that's how you know where you're going or what apartment you trying to get to. If you're not looking at the numbers, how the hell you knowing where you're going, right? So she should have known instantly that she wasn't on the 3rd floor, she was on the 4th, or vice versa, or whatever, right? Okay, so let's say she's still real stupid and she didn't realize it. She opened this door, or because she said it was ajar, it was kind of open or whatever. She should have seen instantly that it wasn't her apartment based on the walls, the fixtures, the furniture, the color of it, the smell. Like, come on. You knew you didn't leave your TV on when you left that morning. Like, really? I mean, she didn't mention any of that stuff. Like, the TV was on and I knew I turned my TV off, or whatever the case may be. None of that stuff. She kind of just was in there and realized the man was on the couch or back in his house somewhere and just was like, I'm going to get him. But no one knows why. No one knows what went through her head, because I don't care. For the life of me, I feel like she knew she was not. At some point, she knew she wasn't in the right apartment. But yet, instead of just getting her stupid ass out and just like, oh, sorry, this is embarrassing, I'm in the wrong apartment, she just was like, pow, pow, pow. Strangest thing, you know, these cases, these murders, they're getting weirder and weirder. The people are weird, because that was some weird shit. You know, even if I'm licensed or certified to carry a gun and I end up in somebody else's apartment or home by mistake, I'm not going to just say, fuck it, let me shoot them. I'm just going to get the hell out and pray they don't shoot me or want to beat my ass for being in their house or whatever. But, you know, I don't know if it's white privilege or she blacked out, she's stupid. You could be a little bit of all those things. I don't know. Anyway, fuck her. So what else? 50 and Jim Jones. I don't know. I feel like 50 needs therapy. I feel like he needs therapy. I feel like he needs a hug. I know his mother is not here. Like, I know his mother passed a long time ago when he was a kid. But I want to say I feel like I heard that his grandmother passed too. Or something like that. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. But he definitely needs a hug. Like, he needs a hug. He needs somebody to just be like, Fifth, come on, leave him alone. Like, don't say that. Leave that man alone. Leave that girl alone. Don't say that. Let her be. Let it ride. Let it go over your head. You too busy. You got too much shit going on. You got too much to lose. Something. But it's nobody in his life that does that. Or maybe it is people in his life that does that, but he doesn't listen. Like, he doesn't listen to him. I don't know. I'm tripping because Jim Jones was recently on Love and Hip Hop. I'm sorry, no, he was on, what's the name of that show? He talked about Love and Hip Hop. He said he's going back, or at least his girlfriend is going back. He's going to be on a couple of episodes, whatever. He wasn't on Love and Hip Hop. Oh, no, he was on the radio show with Charlamagne and DJ Envy and Angela Yee. And, you know, eventually DJ Envy asked him, like, what is going on with you and Fist? Is it real? Are you guys cool? Is this really a beef? What's up? And he was just like, because, you know, he was previously it came out that they heard the recordings of him talking to some other guy. I don't know. I can't remember the guy's name. It was supposed to be a part of this clique. I'm not going to say a gang, but it's supposed to be a part of this clique. And he was basically on the tape saying Tekashi needs to get touched. Like, he needs to get touched. He needs to get dealt with. And he needs to get dealt with quickly, swiftly, period. That's what that's what the recording said. That's what the audio said. That's what the audio of him, demonstrated. Him saying that this guy needed to get touched, period. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know what it means, what it was about. And 50 talked about it. Like, he basically was like, oh God, he a snitch, or we moving like that, or you get niggas offed or dealt with, or that type of thing. And basically Jim was like, where I'm from, people don't play like that. Like, unless you don't like the person and you just don't give a F if you kind of busting them out or, dogging them out, putting them on Front Street, whatever. That's what you do to somebody you don't really like. And so basically he was saying he didn't know it was that serious, that this guy would sit up there and say that shit. Apparently he's been advised by counsel to not his counsel to not even comment on any of it, to just stay mute, don't say nothing about nothing as it relates to this. Don't even comment about the shit that 50 is saying. Leave it alone. So, and he didn't comment on it. He left it alone. He just was like, where he from, they don't do that, and people get dealt with, should it keep going. And 50 is basically, he's still going, because 50 was on, because I follow both of them on Instagram, and Fifth was just like, the other day, like, oh, he was basically making reference, like, oh, I'm in Texas, I hope none of them run up. He was referring to Jim and Ja Rule, because Ja Rule was on that show with Andy Cohen, and Andy Cohen asked him, to name a few or three nice things about 50, and he really didn't say anything nice. He kind of called him a clown and all that stuff. So, it's just continuing. So, yeah, Fifth was just making a joke like, ooh, I'm scared of y'all. I hope y'all don't show up in Texas where I'm at. You know what I mean? Which they're not, because they don't really want any smoke, I don't think, because Ja Rule, he's on the Love and Hip Hop Kids, or whatever that show called, with the kids, the hip hop guys. I don't know what it's called, sorry, I can't remember. And Jim, he got other stuff going on too, like, they got stuff to lose. Don't nobody really want to be in no fight with 50 Cent. And not to say that they're scared, and not to say that they think 50 gonna win, but it's just like, and 50 shouldn't even want to do this, because he does have a lot to lose. Like, all of them do to a degree, but 50, he's in acting, he's producing, he's directing, he got a new show coming out, a spinoff to Power, plus a new show. He's a rapper, he's brand managing liquors and champagnes and, all his other businesses. He got a new boo. Like, really? Like, you don't even need to go there. It's not even worth your time. But anyway, that's why I say he needs a hug, or he needs somebody that he listens to in his immediate family to tell him to shut up. Maybe since he got a new girlfriend now, maybe she'll be like, boo, please, don't do that. Don't say that. Leave them people alone, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. So that's it for that. What else? I didn't even do a little rundown sheet of what all to talk about, because I got it here. I tried to remember it all here, and it may not work. I may not remember it all. What else? Okay, I talked about Fifth. I talked about Amber Geiger, the Basketball Wives. Where do I start? I'm going to talk about these heifers for a minute. Evelyn Lozada and this OG girl. I watch the show every now and again. Basically, the show is grounded in drama, right? it's reality TV, and the reality TV shows do not last if they don't have a certain level of drama and a certain level of pretend fighting and a certain level of pretend beefs and a certain level of drink throwing, name calling, and all that stuff. So this is just another sequel, no big deal. However, I do feel like sometimes to keep their storylines going or make their storylines interesting, they get messy. Because in a lot of cases, these people are not friends in real life. Like, they're kind of just like interacting with each other and you know, dealing with each other because of the show. And I feel that is true with OG and Evelyn. I don't feel like they're friends for real. And so OG supposedly, she's pretty new to the show. I think this is like her first season. She basically was talking to Ocho Cinco, which is Evelyn Lozada's ex-husband. It's the guy that headbutted her. Excuse me. And I mean, who cares really? Like, Evelyn don't want Ocho Cinco anymore. Like, she's always calling him her abuser and all this stuff, which that's a whole nother story. Like, the man, I don't think the man had ever hit her before. So her just straight up calling him an abuser all the time, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of wrong. It's not right to hit a woman and all that stuff. But I feel like, and I know I'm possibly going to get a lot of flack for this comment, I don't know, but, and I'm a woman, so I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. I feel like women can, you know, we can't beat up a guy, right? We don't have physical makeup to actually beat a guy. He's really athletic and physical. There's no way that Evelyn could have got with him physically, as far as fighting. But I feel like we as women, we have a mouthpiece. Like, we can talk, we can argue, we can be sassy, we can say really slick stuff. And it kind of angers guys. And I'm not saying because a guy gets angry that they have a right to hit a woman or they should hit a person or hit a woman. But you have to remember, people are people. Man or not. Like, he is a person. He can get angry. He can get mad, you know? Just as us as women, we can get angry. We can get mad. But it's like, you know, you can't keep yapping and going back and forth with a guy, you know, calling him out his name and just yelling and screaming. I mean, eventually it's going to get physical because he's going to try to stop it. Like, he's going to try to stop you in some way, be it a hit, or walk away, or drive off, or drive away, something, because, you know, men, they don't like to sit there and go back and forth and argue and be loud like how we do. It's just something in us. We're women. That's what we do. You know, we'll argue, go back and forth, and you with your point, me with my point, and then you with another point, and me with another point, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on with the back and forth reciprocation. I don't think men are into it. And I know that they can get pissed and not want to hear that ish. And, you know, just depending on the man, they might lash out and hit your ass. It's not right. It's not good. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It happens sometimes. But just because it happened once, it does not mean that he is an abusive person. People are people. People make mistakes. People can get angry. You know, when people's anger get heightened, things happen. It may be something they've never done before, and it may be something they'll never do again. And they can be really, really sorry and apologetic for it, but it doesn't mean he's an abuser. You know what I mean? If I kick a dog one time because it snapped at me or whatever, that don't mean I'm an abuser of animals. It just means I kicked the dog that time or whatever. However, I know if onlookers are seeing that, somebody will see that and be like, oh my gosh, she's mean to animals. She just kicked that dog. You know what I mean? I get it. But just because he did something that horrible to her one time, it does not mean that he is an abuser. So I kind of don't like the fact that she considers him her abuser all the time. That's how she refers to him. Can't she just say like, oh, we had an incident, he headbutted me, I got 5 stitches or 6 stitches or whatever it was. You know, horrible situation. I hate him for it. I'm over it now. I've forgiven him, but we'll never be what we were or whatever. I'm never going back that route. You know, we're not the best of friends, but we're cordial. It's just the ugly thing that happened. We've since moved on. Why come she just can't say that? But she drives home this thing. He's my abuser. Like, shit happened one time and it ain't happen no more. I ain't heard nothing about no other woman saying they got hit from Ultra Cinco. But, you know, I don't follow him. I don't know that much about him. I know he's an ex-football player or whatever, but I've never heard him in the media before him dating her. Go figure. And then same thing with Chris Brown years ago with Rihanna. Like, I've never heard him being accused of hitting no other woman prior to that, and really nothing really concrete since then. Like, he's always in some little drama or some little fictitious legal stuff, but never like he hit me. It's always like some sexual assault stuff, which I hate to say it, but that mess was probably had no real merit, because that's probably why they always got throughout. Because it's just some thirsty ass chicks around him, knowing he's really a target because he's reckless. You know what I mean? He's reckless and he's out of control. He's drinking, he's smoking, he's popping, whatever it is that he does. And he's an easy target for some bullshit like that. So he's always going to come across girls that going to try to create that type of drama, whatever. But you haven't heard him really punching no girls like that since Rihanna. So, you know, he was able to come back from that. Thank God. Because I thought he was like history, the way they was coming for him in the media. But anyway, so yeah, I just hate that she's always calling him her abuser. I feel like that's not right. And I feel like he could have maybe done a lot more business had he had not been, you know, labeled an abuser in the media. But, you know, by him being in NFL and the whole woman beating thing, and that was just a really bad time, and he kind of wasn't able to just let it go over his head. It kind of affected him. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. But as far as her and OG, I don't know. I don't know if the girl actually really hollered at him or he really hollered at her. Did he really want to holler at her? Was it just a sex thing? You know, was he interested in dating her? No one knows. No one will ever know, and no one really cares. But yeah, that's the gist of what's going on between those two. And for OG to be saying it's a colorist thing or a racial thing, I think she's full of malarkey. Like, I think she's full of bullshit. Like, it's not a color thing. It's not a race thing. You got Jennifer Williams. You got the newest girl. What's her name? Kristen. And you got Malaysia. And then you have Jackie Christie. Those are all brown-skinned women. Different variations of brown skin. A little dark brown or medium brown. Whatever. You know, they're like on the darker brown side or whatever. They've been on there forever. You know, Jackie Christie in Malaysia. How Shani ain't never told them to get off. It was never an issue about color with them. Nothing's ever come up with color. So OG needs to really kick rocks with that color shit. People are calling her ugly because she's ugly to them, you know, in their opinion. They feel like she's ugly inside and out because she's always talking about she gonna hurt somebody and kill somebody. And don't get me wrong, Evelyn is a goddamn fool on the show. Like, she's always lashing out at somebody, reaching over the table, throwing a drink. She's had bottles. She's thrown bottles, I believe. She's thrown tables or chairs or whatever. So, I mean, it is a double standard, but it's not a double standard because of color. It's a double standard because Shani likes Evelyn. Like, that's her ace. That's her ride or die, you know, and she liked her better, period. You know, that's all it is. It has nothing to do with color. Shani playing favoritism, and she is, because like I said, if you go back in history, you see Evelyn doing all kinds of stuff to people, or trying to. and she's actually doing it. Like, she's actually throwing the bottle. She's actually jumping across the table or whatever. Excuse me. So, it's not because of a color thing. It's just because Shawnee likes her and she don't like... I'm sorry. It's because of this pop. She don't like OG. Has absolutely nothing to do with color. Period. So, OG can just kick rocks on that. And, of course... and then, they were saying, like, she uses racist comments, like calling her the other lady a roach and calling the Asian lady, which is, I believe the Asian lady is Cece, calling her Ling Ling, and then calling OG a monkey. These things can be considered racist depending on the person. I feel like Evelyn is not racist. I just feel like she is commenting on things that are true. It's reality. If you go into the nail shop right now, a lot of them, their names are like Ling Ling. If they're Chinese, not Japanese, but if they're Chinese or Vietnamese, they always have these names like Ling or Ling Ling or Shu Sha. Just these funny names because that's their country, their culture, is where they're from. And that's just the commonness of the names that those people use for their children. Just like with Italian people, a lot of people, guys, the parents name them Anthony and Joey, things like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, all Italians are not named Joey and Anthony, but a lot of Italians are named like Joey and Anthony, Michael maybe, just a name that the culture felt comfortable with and they liked and they used it a lot. Who cares? It's not a big deal. It's not a color thing. It's just a reality, right? So even with black people, African Americans, a lot of African Americans or a lot of black people, they like the word or the names that start with Sha, right? Shaniqua, Shaquanda, Sharita, Shanetta, Sharnetta, what else? Just a lot of Sha names. Shatina, all kinds of Sha names. Shatisha, Shatasha, all these names because they're ethnic, I feel. And when I say ethnic, I just mean our race, we kind of like spice. We kind of like to spice things up. We just don't like simple names like Sharon. Even though there's tons of black people named Sharon. But I'm just saying, us as a culture, we kind of like to spice things up. I mean, I'm black and I'll be the first to tell you that it's nothing for me to hear a black person with two names. Like two names in one. Like DeAndre or like Quan something. Quan Andrew. I mean, either name him Quan or Andrew. Name him D or Andre, but they put the names together a lot, and it's just a cultural thing. I think it's not that she's black. I mean, prejudice. It's just that she's referencing how it is. Like, if you go to the nail shop, there's a lot of Chinese people with the name Ling or whatever their names are, okay? It's not a black or white thing. It's just a reality. It's a fact. And if I point that out, it's not that I'm racist. I mean, if I'm racist, I'm racist. But it's not that I'm racist just because I'm pointing out that this particular culture, their names are usually this or that. According to history, according to society, according to TV. You know what I mean? Just because she points it out doesn't make her a racist. She calls somebody a cockroach. That can be considered racist. But, if you're acting like a ghetto bee, you might get called a cockroach or a hood rat. I'm not taking up for Evelyn, but I'm just saying you have to go by more than just somebody calling you names. You know what I mean? You gotta really know if that person is prejudiced or not. I mean, Shawnee's black. And Evelyn and her are besties. So if she did not like black people, or colorists, that's what they're saying too. That she's a colorist, meaning she really don't have a problem with black people, but yet, as far as women, she may not respect darker skinned women, or think they're as pretty as lighter skinned women, or maybe women of a Latino background or something like that. That is somewhat the definition of colorist, not like to the letter, but just the gist of it. And I don't know, I feel like that's hogwash, because she never called Malaysia like a negative name. I know she called Jackie a cockroach, but she was beefing with Jackie. So people say stuff that I don't necessarily mean, and they say like negative comments. You know what I mean? But when she was beefing with Jennifer, and Jennifer was like, had been like one of her closest friends, when she was beefing with her though, she never called her a cockroach. She never said monkey. She never called her ugly. Why? Because she doesn't feel that she's ugly to her, opinion. She didn't call her a cockroach because she don't feel like Jennifer acts ghetto or, raunchy or whatever. So cockroach didn't fit her. You get what I mean? She didn't call her ugly because she don't feel that she's ugly. She didn't call her a monkey because she doesn't feel like she looks like a monkey or whatever. OG, I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but maybe she feels like OG sort of favors a monkey. I mean, I hate to say it, but OG is not the most attractive woman. And again, that has absolutely nothing to do with her color. Like I said, Jennifer is dark-skinned or dark brown, whatever you want to call it. She ain't the cutest, but she's not ugly. The newest girl on there, Kristen, she's cute. I mean, she's okay. I like her. I like the way she looks. And she's brown-skinned or dark brown. And it's absolutely nothing wrong with her looks. Jackie, I think Jackie is cute. She's older. She's getting older now or whatever. But some of her older pictures of her, she's cute. Nothing, I don't have no problem with her color. It's just that, the people are not that attractive or whatever. Or in Malaysia. Malaysia's cute. She's okay looking. I have no problem with Malaysia's looks. And she's dark-skinned, dark brown or whatever. So, I mean, but she doesn't look like a monkey. She doesn't favor a monkey to me. OG is not that attractive. OG does have a funny little look, and it may be because she's African, or I'm not sure if she's African or Nigerian. I'm not sure what her ethnicity or nationality is, but she does have some harder features.